We are live. I'm trying to fiddle with a few of the settings here just to see the comments, I hope. Hi Michael, just bear with me as I'm trying to sync this so I can see the comments on the tablet, but the phone is it's filming, so yeah, I'm not sure about just wait a second. Yeah, I'm a little bit late in terms of when I said I'm going to go live. So just bear with me as I'm working through this. And Michael, thank you for that proposal. I might take you on that. Just bear with me for a few seconds. I'm trying to get on the tablet showing the comments, but it's not doing it. Just bear with me. First time doing this apart from that test run that I did. Okay, now I see the comments. Lovely. Let's see how it looks bigger. Yeah, this should be okay. Luckily I have a good sight so I can see all the way to here. I'll wait a few seconds until we have a few more. Hi, hello, everyone joining in. Oh, I didn't know we need to keep trolls at bay in this even live, so I'm not very good in terms of technical stuff. So hi Paul, Bert, Mark, hi guys. I'll wait a few more minutes and then we'll turn something. We'll play around on the lathe a little bit. Okay, I think this setup might work. Old man River Wood Turner, hello. Dutch Woodcraft, hello, hello. Hello to you as well. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this should be fun. I think the audio should be okay, at least for my testing. Let me know what you think. I do have a bug here, so I think the audio should be a little bit clearer than just using the phone microphone. Thank you for feedback. Greetings to Florida from quite cold Zagreb, so not fun, but you have to work, so I do have the gloves in preparation, just in case if I feel my fingers getting numb. We'll see how it goes. We'll wait a few more minutes and then we'll start to turn something. And I know some will ask about the heater as well. Hopefully that will be on the agenda for the next winter, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe a mini split or something like that, that I can cool the shop and heat it up as well. Hi to Robin. Greetings to Vegan England. Am I right? And yeah, I guess in it's quite chilly here and in Germany as well. So thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. I do my best to make the content as best I can. So I'm glad to hear that you learn something. I like that. Oh yeah, we do get a snow. What was it? Maybe a month and a half ago, we did have quite a bit of snow after maybe 10 years or so. So, hello Mandy. Hi. Glad to hear. I hope you're using scraper every day, so hopefully it's serving you well. I have sort of a, for Seattle, hello Alan, I always had for Seattle sort of a predisposition that it's always raining, am I right? Or it's like Ireland, maybe I'm wrong, but whenever I watch a movie where Seattle is like a city, the action is going on, it's always raining. So just get the comments here. Oh, nice to hear that, Mandy. Thank you. Oh, hot and dry in Miami. Here it's quite chilly, so like I said, I have gloves prepared just in case if it's a little bit too cold for my fingers. So there is always like a school of thought that you don't use gloves on the lathe, but it's, in my opinion at least, even worse when your fingers are not moving as they should. So that's always another risk to take. Hi Kevin. Yeah, hopefully we see each other in Ireland in April. I will be in Cork, and in 1st of May I should be in Dublin as well. And in the 3 weeks, maybe a little less, I'll be in Northern Ireland in Ulster Woodturning Club. So not sure where you are, but hopefully we should meet, I hope. Rains often, but not much volume. Yeah, I guess so. Hi, Spike. Yeah, I've done chopping last weekend, so I'm okay for now at least. I do that for my mom. She's still using the furnace on the wood, so. Yeah, I like thunder, so hopefully one day I'll visit California. It's on my wish to visit United States, so hopefully by the end of the year in Texas, in Austin. Hi, hello. What's up? South of Ireland. Yeah, south. You mean like region of Cork, I assume, or not many of you know. But a little fun fact, but I worked in Ireland in total around 6 months in Cork in bespoke kitchen shop. So it was really good time. Unfortunately, we didn't have the what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? It just wasn't for us, for my family, so I returned back, and my son was really young at that time, so it was quite hard to be separated. So yeah, I'm taking your advice, Mike. By the way, Whacking Shack, I think it's the channel. Correct me, Michael, if I'm wrong. But I got a few tips from Michael there, and he does, I think, once a week live sessions, and it's really fun. So, hi, Anis. Hello. Yeah, the Whacking Shack. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Kevin, I will demonstrate in Cork. Yeah, in April. I should check the dates as well, but I have it on the calendar on my phone. But I don't want to touch it right now. I don't want to mess something up. Yeah, so we're 10 minutes in already. Wow, time flies with this stuff. I think. This is woodturning channel, so I think it's in order to turn something. So bear with me, as hopefully won't get seasick as I move the camera a little bit, and then I'll tune you in. And I'll do periodically. I'll stop and check the comments on my tablet, but also I'll bring you up like here, and so we can talk like this as well. So again, it won't be my usual pace, but slightly slower, just to see and answer as much of the comments as I can. But what I'll try to do after the fact, of course, is answer as much of the comments as I can. So again, hopefully you won't get seasick as I'm moving the camera a little bit. I think this should be a good view, I hope. So, safety glasses. I don't use full like face shields, just gets in my way. But of course, safety aspect is on everyone's agenda or responsibility. It's a better word to say. Yeah, so just checking a few comments before I start. Hello to Indiana. Where are you in New York? Oh, Derek. Okay, it's not for me. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, I forgot. I'm quite bad at this stuff. Hit the like button, the thumbs up button. That helps, I guess, promoting the live. So late is, or I should better say, the blank is on the lathe. I have it in the Wickmark Shark Jaws. This is piece of cherry, around 45 mil square. Let's just double check. Here it's a little bit thinner. That's 1 3/4 inches, something like that. A little bit thinner on this side, just a few mil, but no big deal. Some of you suggested that you would like to see some of the skew operations. So these will be a couple of drinking cups, shot glasses for rakia, as we like to call it. So this is actually the other way around. So this is where I'll have the tenon for the chuck, because this side is a little bit narrower than this side, but I want to hold on this one. So just remove a little bit of corners, see where it wants to land in terms of speed, around 2000 RPM. This is 3/4 inch skew, 19 mil, my signature skew. And Just clean up the end, like so. Tiny shoulder here. That will just position the blank in the chuck. It was slightly tapered, which I didn't like. Oh, it's my wife is in the comments. She says we're watching you. No pressure. Let's see if this chuck will grip this, or we'll have to switch to smaller one. Yeah, I got lucky here. Yeah, that's good. Just enough of the pressure to squeeze it and doesn't spin. So now this is slightly thicker side of the blank, and now I can clean this up and start making the little shot glasses. The rest goes up a little bit because I want to plane this down. Just clean it up. Although doesn't look like it's thicker side, but nevertheless it should be a nice little cup. So first thing is always hollowing. Now this is quite far away from the chuck, so it might scream a little bit or vibrate. Let's see a few comments. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Spindle gouge, this is 12 mil diameter, ½ inch. Find the bevel. That didn't make the cone as I wanted. Nice little contraption. I'll have a video on this, how to make it. I did one before, but I'll do another one. And this just has a mark on the top here. Just knows roughly, I know where is the, or how deep I'm going rather. So for this size, for this diameter, let's go up to this line. So this is basically like a little scoop, but it will end up as a little cup. So this is back hollow cut, just removes the bulk of the end grain, and now you switch to one of these, or at least I like to do it with this one, asymmetric curved scraper. This is smaller one, 3/4 inch wide by 6 mil. I have a bigger one as well. Now, like I said, this is quite away from the chuck, so I will support the side a little bit. A bit more. With holding the fingers on the outside, you reduce a lot of the vibrations, but again, you don't push real hard, because first of all you'll burn your fingers, and the other thing is you don't want to use a lot of pressure with the scraper, so you just want to equalize any kind of pressure. So I'm just trying to find the center lump and then move away from it. Here it is. And that's pretty good. What I'll do real quick, I'm looking for a pencil. Just mark roughly where the inside is. Now the fun bit of shaping the outside. Now I don't sand the inside, I sand everything together. Just preferred method, back with the skew. A little reverse curve here. Now parting tool is quite, it's an easier option for this cut than using a skew, let's say, to part with multiple cuts. So this is just roughly where I want to go. That doesn't look too bad. Feels okay. I won't part it off just yet. Quick sanding, I'll just use a 180 grit. This is 220. 220 is okay as well. Just a little bit. Once I part this off, I'll check the comment section a little bit. Maybe I should put a little bit of beeswax on. Grab a bit of shavings. Okay, that's pretty good. Should I wax this or not? Let's go with wax. Just bear with me as I try to find it. I should break. I have a bigger lump and I also have these smaller chunks. So I need to break the bigger one. So just melt it like so. And let me just grab a towel. Since it's really cold in my shop, just wait a little bit until the heats build up a little bit, and then it's much easier to melt the wax. So just wait a few seconds, then you should be able to push it around. A little bit more on the inside. Okay, that's better. Part it off and then we'll finish the bottom. Now you have two options. You can sand this flat, or you can jam chuck it if you want. Either way works okay. I'm just going to show you the jam chucking since I have the blank like so. So it's quite fast method. Make a taper. Since it's waxed, it should go on quite easy. And it should leave a mark where it rubs. This is almost perfect. Okay, that's good. Now the end grain on the bottom here, or the foot, it's easier to do with a spindle gouge, smaller one. Like so. We can put a couple of details. And then another quick buff with sandpaper and beeswax. Just wait again a few seconds until it melts nicely. So that's 1 cup done. A little knob in the center, again, for the demo it's okay. It's a really good thickness as well. Quite happy with that. So let's turn another one, or if you want to go, let me know in the comment section if you want to go to cross grain box, a little bigger one. Actually, I'll reposition you so we can talk. There we go. Just checking the setup here. Reposition this slightly. Just first of all, let me say hello to everyone that joined in, and I appreciate that, really. The other thing is, did you notice any kind of a hiccup or anything during the demo? Was any kind of a mishap with internet connection or anything like that? Just let me know. It should be really stable, at least on my end, but just let me know. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, awesome. Everything went well. Lovely. Where am I located? In Croatia, in Zagreb. You're making these now from bloodwood, Mike. I have something similar here. Probably won't show how red it is. This is red heart. Do you use these shot glasses yourself? No, but I do plan on making a bigger set because when my cousin arrives from Ireland to Croatia for holidays, I should only say, I won't say too much, but that month, while he's here, we sort of get a little bit loose. Let's call it that way, and we enjoy ourselves with rakia, with whiskey or something like that. So yeah, so I will be making a bigger set for myself, but also for the website for sale. So that should be interesting. Just see a little bit further back with the comments. So where am I located? Like I said, in Zagreb, in Croatia. So let's see. That 5-second jam chuck would take me about 5 minutes. Audio and video was great. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. I mean, 5 seconds, doesn't matter how long does it take for make the jam chuck. The important bit is that it's right, let's say. So when you put your cup or bowl, wherever it is, on the jam chuck, you want to have that little kind of a crunching sound, just a tiny bit, especially with the end grain like this small cup here. You really don't want to push it in terms of having a too snug of a fit, because this is quite thin on the top. I'm not sure if the camera will, how well, it's not that thin, but it's maybe 2 mil and a half, something like that. So If it's too snug of a jam chuck, then when you press it in, it will just break, especially if you're doing end grain stuff like this here. But this is great size for nice toast. Also, what I wanted to say is, if you remember, I made quite a bit of these. I think in total around 800, I think 800 or 700 pieces of Zwick, it's called, from designer here in Zagreb, Emma Gerovac, and she makes these, or she designs them to be with a really small base. So the idea is, when you fill it, then you have to drink it up immediately, otherwise it won't stand on the table, let's say. So you have to drink it while it's full. While it's empty, it can sort of stand just barely, but when it's full, you have to drink it immediately. That's the idea, and I think it's a cool sort of idea for drinking cups. So I'll do something similar as well for that. Just go through some of the comments again. Oh, I can see it here as well. Bear with me as I'm I don't know where to look. I'm looking here on the tablet, but also I'm looking here. So no, you're not, Heather. You're not late. So this will be slightly longer live, so it won't be just half an hour. I know I don't expect everyone to stay around for the entire demo, but I'll do cross grain box now, slightly different, slightly more posh version, let's say. So what does alcohol do to beeswax finish? Nothing. I mean, it's not protective by any means. So when you pour any kind of, first of all, when you buy these, probably you're going to wash it before use, and then the water will remove the beeswax. However, for selling, I would use tung oil. This is just for the demo, just to show a little surface posh, just bring the color a little bit. Like I said, I would use tung oil or any kind of a penetrating oil finish. But again, the idea is not to keep the liquid in. Whatever you have, like bowls or whatever like that, you don't keep the liquid in. So even for your salad bowls, you make the salad, you have your dressing, you have your vinegar or olive oil or whatever you're using. Once you eat your salad and you done all that for the lunch or dinner, then you wash it up. You don't leave it overnight or anything like that. So just have to be aware of that. So if you do leave it overnight, then you can expect in the morning to have splits or anything like that. So the finish, it's not the idea. It's not to protect the wood, because wood will absorb alcohol a little bit or anything like that. But again, it's timber, it's natural product. Any kind of residue, the timber has antimicrobial properties, so it does sort that out much better than plastic or I won't say metal. Metal is obviously the best version, or ceramics. However, it's much better than plastic, especially cutting boards or anything like that. So yeah, any other questions that I can answer? Hi Tomo, pozdrav. Ako napraviš čašice ili šalice te ih zaštiti vosak, koji je to vosak? Običan vosak, najobičniji vosak, pčelinji čisti vosak, tako da niš posebno. Hi Klaus. Lights in the background. Yeah, I'll switch the camera around now for the demo again for turning. So this is just so you can see my face as we talk. So Yeah, beeswax is just to make the grain pop in, at least in this scenario here for the demo, just so you can see a finished product. Cherry is quite dull when it's just sanded, so a little bit of beeswax just brings the color up. Like I said, for any kind of selling stuff, I would use tung oil, or I have this also. This is a good one. From Steinert. I think it's upside down now. Doesn't matter. I'll put it in a comment section or in the video description after. Really good stuff. It has quite a bit of wax in it, but it's quite good penetrating oil in it. Not sure what it is. I think it's linseed oil and tung oil as well. So it does the job really nicely and protects quite a bit of timber. So. Thomas says he also knows English, so I don't have to doing creation, so that's a relief. It's not easy to switch around, you know. My brain it's now tuned for English, so it's not easy to switch. Hi Robert, question is, please explain the sharpening angles you use. Well, I use a lot of different angles. For example, the most acute angles, is that the right word, or steep? The most steep angle is on my skew, so around 20 degrees. So the combination of the two is around 38 to 40 degrees, in that ballpark. For the skews, for example, I don't go by a sort of an angle, I go for a length of the bevel. So what I mean by that is, let me switch camera around. So again, bear with me for a few seconds until I rotated the camera. Like so. Yeah, so this is my skew, and what I'm looking for usually is a length of the bevel. So for this size of steel, between 9 and 10 mil, it's a good range for me at least. So if I take a ruler and if I place it here, you should be able to see that it's around 9 mil long bevel. So that's an easy way. I think I saw that first from what is his name? Alan. I think it's Alan, that has a real big skew. I'll have to leave it in the comments. I hate when I can't give credit properly, but nevertheless, that's a good sort of a ballpark where you want to be in terms of angles. For all the rest of the tools, I'm sort of in between 35 and 50 or up to 55 degrees. So ball gouges, recently I just use around 50 degrees, so I don't have to switch too much of the tools, but between 40 and 50 degrees is for my ball gouges. For spindle gouges, I have it roughly 35 degrees, and scrapers are a little bit different than most of the others. I have it between 45 and 55 degrees. So again, that works for me, but again, it does depend on which type of scraper. So for example, this asymmetric curved scraper is, the nose is around 50 degrees, between 45 and 50 degrees, as you can see here. But as we go towards the side, and as you saw me use this tool in the cup here, if the side bevel here is too acute, too steep, no, acute, or doesn't matter. If it's here on the side, 45 degrees, it will be really grabby scraper. So what that means is, when I would touch here on the side grain over here where my thumb is, when I would touch here, the cup will probably explode. So I have it roughly, again, here, much more steeper angle. So maybe, as you can see here, the length of the bevel is at the nose quite long. But as we go towards the side, it's much smaller in terms of length. So again, this is compound angle. But for example, for refiner, it's uniform around between 45 and 55 degrees. Again, I don't measure it every time. I just go to grinder. Sometimes the platform is already set, sometimes it's not. So again, just depends on where I am in terms of workflow and what I have set on the platform. Sometimes it's just for days the skill platform, and then I just I sharpen these on top of the platform, and then the angle changes slightly, but again, doesn't matter all that much. Yeah, so just checking a few. Alan Laser, thank you, James. Thank you for that. It's Alan Laser. He has a really good videos on skews, and I highly recommend that you check them out. Now, let's go to that cross grain box, and I'll show you the blanks real quick just to get rid of this. And I'll position the camera slightly further up, like so. Take the chuck off as well. Like this, and I need screw chuck. So this is Wickmark 3-in-1 screw chuck, so you can flip this top ring for smaller diameter if you need to. But this will be okay for this. And just grab a blank. So I have here a chunk of maple. Let's see the dimensions. Don't know them from top of my head. 6-inch diameter, slightly more than that, and it's around 3¼ inch in thickness. That's 85 mil. That will be the base. I have this piece of chestnut on the shelf. Not sure what I was doing with it. Some sort of a base, like, as you can see. But I think I can reuse this for lid, and then for some sort of a knob on top, I'll use this wangy. If everything goes well, of course. Just checking so I don't make a rookie error with battery percentage, so it's okay. Let's see a few comments. Where we okay, so yeah, James, thank you once again for remembering who to give a credit to. Can you help me with what to tell my customers when they buy a bowl for long-term care? Micah. Good question. Yeah, well, what you can say, what do you mean in terms of like maintenance, or let me just bring you back. It's weird that you have to look my hands, and I'll put it like this, that you have to look my hands as I'm talking, so that doesn't feel right. Yeah, so yeah, I'm in a shot. That's good. Yeah, I mean, for maintenance, like I mentioned, you can explain and give it sort of a reason that it's natural product. So there will be stains on it. There will be, especially if it's a utilitarian item, then with use there will be some stains from salad, from meat, from oils, and so on. But again, it's natural product and just gives a patina a little bit, and doesn't matter in the long run. If that bothers somebody like your customers, then this may sound harsh, rough, but then the wooden item is not for them. So again, this is natural product, so you have to expect with that sort of in mind, what is the, so you can't basically wash it, of course, in a dishwasher, so you have to hand wash it. You have to take a little bit of care with it. It's not like that you have to babysit it or anything like that, but again, you have to take care of it in terms of not leaving, like I said, the liquids overnight for any longer periods of time. That is the biggest issue in the most part for wooden items. So just have to be aware of that. Other than that, I mean, wooden items are quite forgiving, user-friendly. I have stuff for years. Older turners have much longer stuff being used, and again, just with use gets better and better. And of course, if you made it right, then you always have a sort of sales pitch that if you drop it, in most cases it won't break. So that's a really good sales pitch. And you know, like ceramics or anything like that, they will just break into million pieces. For the wooden, let's say plate or bowl, it just has to land on the two parts, so on the end grain portions, it just has to land on that perfect spot to break or chip out, and that's not so much likely to happen. Again, I've had this scenario where the customer did drop it, but again, nothing happened. So yeah, I mean, long-term use, just it's a really simple item to use. Just see a few more comments. There's a lot of comments, and again, I do apologize if I won't answer all of them. I just can't see every one of them, but I will answer after the fact once the video live feed is over, and then you will be able to watch the entire thing on YouTube as a regular video as well. What is the best finish for long lasting like finish? I think something like urushi from Japanese wood turning culture. I think that's a really good finish, really long lasting finish. But again, it's quite difficult to apply. There is quite a bit of a learning curve to it, and I think you can't have it on your skin, so it's not easiest finish. And again, for me at least, I like the simplicity of like tung oil or linseed oil, anything like that, and just it's nice and simple finish. Let's see. I always struggle with the skew chisel. What angle were you holding it at to the wood? I mean, that's a good question. I always like to have the skew cutting at around 11 o'clock on the spindle. So what I mean by that is just, so this is the end of spindle. And if you watch this, so this is going towards the tailstock. So if you watch this as a clock face, then you will have 12 o'clock on top, of course 11, 1, and so on. I mean, I think it's on the feed the other way around, but I think you get the point. So I want the skew to do the cutting at around 11 o'clock position, so around here. So I would adjust the tool rest so the skew is cutting at that point on the timber, but the rest of it, it's basically the comfort zone. So what I mean by that is you can take the tool rest higher or lower, just depending on your personal preference, your height, and so on. So maybe you're not comfortable cutting at 11 o'clock, but maybe a bit lower, so you can adjust a little bit. In wood turning, it's not everything set that you have to do it the only one way, that it's the right way, let's say. So you can find multiple ways of getting the same task done. Yeah, so let's go to turning now. Once again, thank you for everyone joining in. So now let's do a little bit bigger shavings fly off. Hopefully that's a good view. Get the blank on. So again, this is maple. It does have a sort of interlocking grain here. Maybe a bit of a figure will pop out, however this corner will be taken off, so probably not much will left, but never mind. find a good spot for speed, at least to take the corner off. So that's around 1500 RPM. Small ball gouge. This is small ball gouge. This will be the newest addition to my signature line. This is short ball gouge, so this has a 10-inch handle, and it's maybe this long when it's new. I really like it for small stuff. Nice and nimble tool. You don't need extra long handles for small work. Asymmetric grind. Just take that corner away. This is dry maple. These are all roughing cuts at the moment. Let's clean up the side portion here. So when you remove the corner like this, now you removed a lot of the weight, so now you can speed up the process a little bit, or turning RPM. So now 1800 RPM. And I'll just quickly clean up the top, like so. So that's clean blank. That's your clean slate to start taking design into option. So the finish here, especially, it's not good. Here it's okay. Here it was push cut or shear cut, so it's nice and clean. The bottom it's quite rough, but again, it doesn't matter. So I want a nice simple V-shape bowl, relatively elegant, or I think it should end up elegant. One slightly smaller foot. So let's do a push cut now. So that cut or shear cut is the cut where you use the bevel contact to first of all polish the surface and shaping the balls. And it's really the best type of cut that you can do on a piece of timber. It's really shiny, as you'll see in a few seconds, but a lot of the people have troubles with it because it's quite sensitive to any kind of pressure that you're using or any kind of movement of the body. Any kind of a wrong movement on the end of the handle can transfer on the tip of the tool, and then you have waves or ridges or anything like that. So now that doesn't look too bad. It's quite good profile. However, I still haven't reached the top, and it's a little bit too bulbous in this area. Again, like I mentioned, I want to do sort of a V-shape bowl, and you can see there's a really nice grain pattern in this maple. So then let's go one more. Move the tool rest around and just continue the cut in the same direction. Okay, that's a little bit better. I can work with a foot later, get a little better feet or tenon or whatever I'm going to do with the bottom, but that is for later stage. You can see a few hiccups here, but pretty much everything else is nice and clean. So once again, thank you everyone for joining in. For everyone new that's here, thank you for watching, for joining in. This is a refiner shear scraper tool that it's based on Richard Raffin shear scraper. Now, again, this is sort of a final stage that I want. However, I'm going to ruin it by putting a tenon here, and later I'm going to remove that again at a later stage or at the end. I need a spindle gouge. Just make a tenon like so. So that's all that I have to do from this side. I won't do the sanding like I mentioned, because at the end I'm going to reverse this. So that's one area done. Before I do the top portion, where did I put the lid? Here it is. So it still has a hole here from the screw chuck. Just see where I'm going to grip this. Okay, I can grip this. I haven't seen this little bead here. It's nice and clean, so I can use that to grip it to make the lid later. So I can remove the screw chuck. I need a lever for that. Is everything okay in terms of video quality? Please let me know. Thank you everyone for joining in. So this is slightly too big of a chuck. Let's go for this one. And we need a key, chuck key. And like that. So that's pretty good. Clean up, as always, clean this rough bit. I'll actually position you slightly lower. Again, bear with me as I move the camera slightly. Just want to give you a little better point of view, I hope, like so. Like I said, first you want to clean this up. Back with the refiner. Nice and gently. And this is quite sharp here, so just a little flick. So it's not sharp anymore. Although it would be quite entertaining to see blood in live session, I want to avoid that. So let's drill a depth hole, but for that the hole here is quite moving around, so it's not a good starting point for drill. That's why you see me a lot using a spindle gouge just to clean it up like so to nice true area. So now the drill bit can go in nice and smoothly. And I have to incorporate that I will be shaping the outside one more time, so I'll go slightly past this line here. Double check. And we have to incorporate this, or at least I want to incorporate it. Of course, this is not the final shape, but I want to reuse this blank. And so if I make the details from this point, I should have enough of the stock to do the lid. Now this might be interesting for you, making a molding here on the corner. For that I like to use a spindle gouge, and what I first want, at this line I want a bead. So that's the start of the bead. I'll remove all this timber. Like so. It's always fun to use scraper when you can. Just clean up that bead. And now from that point, I'll have another bead on the lid, but that's on the inside. So for now, that's not my concern. So now what I want to focus is on this area here. I want to make sort of a molding in this corner here. Nothing too spectacular, so I'll leave a flat spot right next to a bead. I'll start making the OG. This is a waste, so remove that, like so. So that's some OG profile. Maybe another bead, like so. And I need to finish it off somehow in a nice manner. Let's see how it looks when it's square like this. So as you can see, that's really clean cut, but I'll refine this surface a little bit. Although this doesn't look too bad, this sharp point, it's not ideal, although I do like it. So like I said, I want to just refine now any surfaces that I touched with a nice light pass, like so. Now this is really clean, hardly needs any sanding. For this little shoulder, I'll use a refiner. Just really light touch. You hardly hear the scrape, then it's a good sign that it's nice and clean. And I still have enough of the flat area here if I want to reshape this at the end. So as you can see, that's really good surface. So let's do the inside. So like I mentioned, there will be another bead. Oh sorry, this is a half bead, but I'll finish it to full bead. Then we'll hollow this out, slightly undercut under this portion, and then we'll have enough room, I hope, again to make the lid from the chestnut, so it will be slightly a different color. Back with the ball gouge. Now, before I move on, here is a square and scraper. Let's make full bead here. So again, nice sharp burr on the scraper is all that you need to make it work nicely. Now here I'm using a spindle gouge just to finish up the bead nice and clean, like so. Again, there will be a bead here on the lid itself, but I do need this slightly lower, and right into a corner. Let's go even deeper, like this. And I want to have the side here really clean. I don't want to sand that too much. Back with the small 10 mil spindle gouge. And that's really nice and clean detail. Again, hardly needs any sanding at all. As you can see, that's quite good. So now, back with the hollowing and undercutting this portion. And this will be our flange. So this is the little area for lid to rest. All of this will be taken out. Back with the ball gouge. Nice and slowly through center. Center is not moving as fast, so you have to account for that. Nice and slowly. Get the shavings off the bench. So that's good. Now what I'll do is actually switch to another ball gouge. Let me just find it. So this one has slightly longer bevel, just so I can reach a little bit further in this area. Same grind, just different angle. Nice and gently at the opening. Okay, that's, for now at least, pretty good. Again, I want to undercut this quite heavily. For the moment, because of my dust hood here, I can't rotate the gouge all the way there. So I have two options. I can remove it real quick now and then finish up the inside, or I can show you a different tool. Just give me a second. So this is undercutter. You can see a really simple shape tool, but it does the job really nicely. And for that, I like to bring the tool rest slightly further back, so it's more resting in this area here, like so. It's not as sharp as I would like it to be. So diamond hole, find the bevel. Just raise another burr. Okay, that's much better. Again, I would use a gouge for this, however the dust hood is in the way. Okay, so underneath the molding here, it's perfect thickness that I would like. And here, actually I can measure it so you can see it. So right here at the deepest part, it's 16 mil, so quite a bit more timber to go. So all these are now roughing straight. I'll refine everything a bit later. Again, if you remember, I will be going towards the outside at the end one more time, just getting the shape that I want. So I'm not dictating the shape at the beginning, but rather at the end. So I can thin this down a bit more. Again, any comments that I don't answer or don't see, I'm going to answer later in the comment section once the video is live, like a regular video on YouTube. Okay, I think for now this is a good shape on the inside. It's nicely undercut right underneath this molding. Has a nice curve to it. Yeah, that's pretty good. All I have to do now is just make this slightly thinner. Like so. Now I'll raise a fresh burr one more time, and then I'm going to refine the surface on the inside. Get it nice and clean. Again, the way I'm honing this is just following the bevel all the way around, just on the tip here. Nothing crazy. This is really old tool, old design of the tool, really simple. So now really light touch. Really light passes. The lighter the pass, the cleaner the surface will be. So basically I'm barely touching the surface. All I want to do is clean that tear out. You can see the shavings I'm getting. It will still need a bit more work. But that's really not bad of a surface. What I'm thinking, maybe on the inside I won't sand it. Maybe I won't sand the entire thing so you can see the tool finish at the end. This is quite a bit of a rougher patch here. So I'll have to deal with that. Let's see, since the undercut portion here it's nice and clean, let's see if I can switch to asymmetric curved scraper right here. I think I should be able to. Let's see what's happening with the surface. Is it getting any better or not? Again, most of this you can cut with the gouge. Okay, it's getting much better than it was, so that's a good sign. But I can't quite reach all the way up here, so I will have to switch back to undercutter, and then we just go a little bit more. If you like what you're seeing, I think the practice is to leave a thumbs up. Again, if you like this kind of format. We are going 1 hour 15 minutes. You can probably see the line on the inside. So I have to be quite gentle at that spot. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. We can start hollowing out the rest of it. Now I can use a ball gouge here or whatever tool fits on the inside. Let's go first with the ball gouge, take away as much as I can, then I'll switch to scraper. That's my bottom, and I have here bigger asymmetric curved scraper. Just get the shavings out. There's quite a bit of it on the inside, and now all I want to do is blend everything together nicely. Still have quite a bit of wood on the bottom. Okay, that's the new bottom position. Yeah, that's much better. And as you saw, it was quite aggressive. That's pure side grain at the bottom, so you can be quite aggressive. So now here on the side, I'll be much more cautious or into light pressure. Okay, that's really good. Good thickness. Needs to be slightly more smoother. This is shallower curve bowl scraper, my signature line with a rounded portion here. So just make sure, especially on this tight vessel like this, that I can use this profile, because I don't want to match this curve on the inside. That could be quite detrimental. And I think that's the inside done. Again, I won't sand anything. That's good. Hopefully you can see quite heavy undercut. So that's at the moment where we are. So let's take a couple of comments, and before that, actually, just to hopefully you can hear how thin it is, and we're going to thin it down a little bit more on the outside when I make the final shape. So let's answer a couple of questions. There is a lot of dust on the camera. Okay, where we left off. Where we left off. Again, I'll do my best after the fact to answer all of these comments. Let's see. Will you be back hollowing? You mean, Klaus, like the entire demo? I have it in the beginning, but I'll probably do the other live, and we can do more technique based if you want. I'm open for suggestions. So let's see. It's hard to follow comments when you're laughing. Yeah, indeed, Michael. Here in Alaska Island, great videos. Really learn a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much, Carl. Thank you. I need to get myself proper skew. I mean, anything can be a skew. What I do recommend that it's at least 6 mil thick. It does the job much better. It doesn't vibrate or have a different tone to it, and then even that little tone can transfer to the surface, so it's not ideal. I'm always impressed with the sharpness of these tools. I can never remove so much material in one pass. I mean, it's a 180 grit CBN wheel, and it's the I sharpened. I mean, basically for forever. I mean, it's hard to explain sharpening when you're not like in person, so it's hard to tell what is sharp and what it's not sharp. But what you want to achieve is that you can have a cut. Doesn't matter all that much the amount of that cut, basically without any pressure on it. If you watch somebody like I don't know, Glenn Lucas, who does a production run of big bowls, and then he takes a lot of the volume on the outside, then you see that he doesn't struggle with that, and basically all of these cuts can be done. Again, it's not recommended, but you can done it with one hand, and you want to have a tool sharp enough that you can do that. So again, there is no resistance, there is no fighting with the timber, so that's, I think, quite important to note. I have started to use the skew because of your helpful information about this tool. How can I send you one of my projects to make any comments? Shoot me an email, send me an email with the pictures. If I can help, I'll gladly do so. How do you store chucks? On the shelf, basically. What was the video? I think when I assembled my workbench, so maybe 10 videos back, you're going to see slightly like a pan of the shop, and it's just on the shelf. Faceplate and couple of screw chucks do have these. I don't have any more of these to take off the wall that you screw on the wall itself. So it has a threaded that's matched the chuck. So I have 3 of those that I can put on the wall. So glad to be able to join you from halfway around the world. Thank you from America. Thank you, Paul. I really appreciate that. Video looks great and angles are fine. Thank you. Thank you for that. Cindy, right? Thank you. Let's see. how much grid is that little hand file you use for the burr. That's, I think, 300 grid. I have 300, 600 and 1200 on this one here. Basically, you don't need all these. If I can, I would buy the one like from this one here. This is quite a good brand, and also Arbortech has a really good one. I have one from Arbortech. I think it's 300 or 400 grit, and that's now in the kitchen for my knife, so I can in the kitchen we know when you dull it you can sharpen it real quick. But that thing for years now I have it, and it's supreme, doesn't wear out or anything like that. These cheaper ones like this one here, they don't last as long, at least the ones that I have here. Maybe from another manufacturer would be better, but these here are not that great. Is this the time when reverse rotation would be useful? Yeah, I mean, you could do that. This kind of shape, yeah, I think it will be a great candidate for that. The only issue is I don't do that very often, so I won't be as comfortable, let's say, doing that. But again, if you have the means to lock the chuck on the spindle, and I don't see any issue with that. So you can turn the rotation to the left and then turn on the other side. That way nothing can be interfering with, like in my case, dust hood to make the cut. But again, if I'm not filming, or if I'm even filming for regular YouTube, I would remove the dust hood. It's really not that big of a deal, but now there was a camera in the way, so it's not worth it. Have you considered adding the negative rake grind to the top of that hooked scraper? Nothing wrong again doing that. Just to show you that close up a little bit, so you can see it, what it looks like. Again, you can do that. I don't find actually the need for that. It's really not a wide tool, so it really has a small point of impact, so just a really tiny bit of a cutting edge here. And if you're careful enough, if you follow all the rules with standard scrapers, really it works perfect, at least again for me. And that might be again one of the future signature tools as well, just slightly modified. But again, I really like it. It's really simple. Nowadays there are probably better options out there, like with those carbide, with actually they do cutting more than scraping, those kind of inserts with different kind of goosenecks profiles. So you can use that. Any tool basically that you have at your disposal to complete the job is perfect tool. So did you make that tool? I've made one from a blank of high-speed steel, order online. It works as intended, but sharpening or getting a nice finish is rather difficult for me, especially on fuzzy timber. No, this is straight from the crown. I did modify it. It was slightly bigger. Not sure if you can see it. Originally comes slightly wider, and that is preferred. However, I use this one for some, for that ring, you know, the squirrel for 4 ways. I use, that's why I've narrowed the cutter down so I can get it in the corners. But again, if you make it out of the high-speed steel, it shouldn't be any issue. This is M2, by the way. I think it's not even cryogenic, it's just pure M2. So when you plan to do next live session, could you please announce in a few days before it is actually happening? Yeah, Klaus, yeah, I most definitely would be doing that. Just need to figure out how. I did announce on my Facebook. However, Earlier today, I did sort of a live presentation or announcement. However, I'm not sure how, but you have to be online all the time, and I just had a lot of other stuff to do, so I couldn't leave my phone in that kind of position all day. Again, I'm still learning how to do this, so excuse on that as well. On back hollowing, Richard Raffin apparently uses specially grinded gouge. So do you that as well? This is if when this goes on my YouTube page as a normal video, this live, you're going to see at the beginning for that cup. Let me just grab it. I use this spindle gouge. This is just simple spindle gouge, regular spindle gouge, 35-degree angle. And now Richard prefers, and I have these sort of automatically. This has nice curves on the wings. It's really hard to get this showing. Maybe on my forehead it can be a good background. So hopefully you can see it has a nice curve to it. The wings, they're not straight. That's the important bit. I think even with the straight wings you could do back hollowing. Also, I do slightly different than Richard. What I like to do is sort of go up and down rather than in and up and back. So it's a slightly different method, two different slightly methods achieving the same task, but it's a good idea, and maybe I'll even do a video trying to do close-ups and different views for regular channel, a regular view on YouTube, just doing the back hollowing. So maybe that will be a good idea. I'm going to have to see what the great job. I have been following you since 4-Way series from Indiana. Thank you, Angry Woodturner. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm really happy to be part of 4-Ways. My colleagues are really a great bunch of people and great turners, and all you can do is learn from them, and that's what I like to do. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think the rest of the comments again, or the backlog, I'll answer. So let's turn quickly the lid, and then we'll turn the base final shape. So bear with me as I move the camera one more time. Like so. And again, just to show you how this looks. So this is the inside without any sanding or anything like that. So again, the outside I'll finish in just a few minutes. So now let's focus on the lid. So again, this is just something that I've used at some point for something. And now it will be turned as a lid. Now, ideally, I hope I can grip this, and I can. So that's good. I don't have to change chucks. You can see that runs quite good. Now this is the inside of the lid. So what I'll do, first of all, is flatten this real quick. There's a little bit too much tools on the bench right now, so wherever that happens, I like to clear something and which tools that I don't need at this point. Let's move this one out of the way a little bit. So refiner or shear scraper. Again, this is chestnut. Get this nice and clean. I need a recess to expand onto these jaws so I can do the outside. However, I also want to dome this slightly or hollow it out slightly. So back with the ball gouge. Oh, where is that hole? That's going quite deep. I wasn't expecting that, but let's continue on. Okay, almost there. Okay, so that's inside done. I can use a skew as well. Let's put a little shoulder like that, and I'll just slightly curve this in. Again, this would be sanded usually, so this will be a good candidate for sandpaper blend. Since I've marked this area unintentionally, I'll add a couple of grooves just as a detail. Now this is slightly too thick, so add a little chamfer just to disguise what I'm trying to do here. So I think that's pretty good. What I'll do now is actually just fit the lid to the base, and I will have to measure the base, so the opening here. Where is it? There we go. So grab a calipers and again, this is cross grain, so this has to be a loose fit. So I will go to sort of a snug fit, like so. And then I'm going to loosen it on purpose, like that. So that's my measurement that I need. So I have to set that in. What? I'm thinking what I want to do here. Should I just take this out or leave myself enough room for any kind of detail? For now, at least, I'm just going to remove all of this. Like so. So that almost fits. It fits sort of weird on the inside. Almost. So, shear scraper, light scrape. So that's snug fit, as you can see. Now you can use this as a jam chuck and shape this now, but since I have the recess here for the flange, I'll use that to expand the chuck later. So that's again a snug fit. Now usually sanding will take care of that snug fit and it will be just right loose, but since I won't do sanding, I'm just going to do one more light scrape like that. Take away this sharp corner. So that's the inside done. And now I can flip this around. You can check how this looks. So it's still just a tiny bit snug. You can hear how snug it is. So we're going to loosen that tiny bit, but I can do that from the other side. So now the top is exposed and I can use the same chuck to expand the jaws in. It runs nice and true. First task is just to remove all of these details here so they don't confuse me. I grab the spindle gouge. So again, just remove all of that. Now, as I mentioned, I would like to have a bead here. So, bead next to bead. And for that, I need to expose a bead. So, actually, I'm going to do this with the scraper. So, refiner. And this is where I'm actually going to stop. I hope I didn't go too deep. And I forgot to mark that. Okay, I still have enough room. So if I take a pencil and mark the top, so this is where I want to stop, and then roll a bead. And that should be okay. I need to extend that line a bit. Everything okay, I hope. I don't see any issues in the comments, so I hope everything is okay. So since I have the tool rest in this orientation, I just grab a spindle gouge and take away this. Is that visible on the camera? Yes, it is. Like so. And as I mentioned, roll that bead. So I'll first do the half, or the half that I can get to. Now let's do the other half as well. So like this. That should be okay, and I'll leave myself a little bit more room here, but I still have to shape this. I had in mind sort of a dome, so simple shape. And before I do any kind of other shaping, I need to verify how thick it is on the inside. So this is a good point why you make a groove on the inside of the lid, something like this, so that you can flip this around, take it apart from the chuck, and just measure and feel what you have. So that's at least how I like to do it. That's how I learned this. And you can see how this now looks. Again, I'll roll that bead a little bit so it's slightly exposed here, and then I'll just do something else with it. Maybe even two beads, since I have the room here for it. And then just a simple dome. This is actually too tall, so I'll reduce the height as much as I can. So measure that. So that's around here. I'm going to leave myself a little bit more room. So a little expansion, doesn't need much. This is where I want to remove all this timber. You can use any gouges, scrapers, whatever you have on hand. This is spindle gouge. And take this into a dome. Like so. I can go with the ball gouge with nice short bevel, trying to get nice push cut down the middle or down the bead. How that looks? Not too bad. Thickness is okay. not too bad. I'm going to drill the center anyway. And now small spindle gouge, and I need to make beads here. Like so. Two beads. I think that should be okay. There is a corner here and a little flat spot, so I want to remove that. Easiest way here, refiner, just extend this curve a little further down. Like so. That's really not that bad. In the very corner, spindle gouge to the rescue. Now skew. And drill bit. Let's see if I can drill it like this. Doesn't like it. I will have to bring the tailstock. So take this out. Jacob's chuck. And some sort of a drill bit. Doesn't really matter. So this is, I think, 7.5 mil or 7. Okay, that's deep enough for the little knob on the end. And at least for now, I don't need tailstock, so get that out of the way. Now, I'll just make a tiny chamfer on the opening, like so. So that's the lid done. Just a simple dome. Again, tiny bit of sanding will take care of any blemishes, although there are not many to find. So okay, honestly, as I'm looking this, I don't fancy it. These details on the top, they really do fit nicely together, so they sort of disappear bead after bead. However, I don't like this weird button here, so I think I'm going to change that up a bit. I still have, I would say, maybe 10 mil of thickness, so enough. And even here I'm quite good. Here, okay. So let's try to make something a bit more pointier, for lack of better words. Let's see. No pressure, Tommy. Just everyone is watching. Let's see about design opportunity here, what I can do. Okay, so this area I can't touch anymore because that's thin enough as it is. This whole area here is around 10 mil thick, so I think maybe just a simple detail, adding something like a OG might work. Maybe a bit lower I'll do that with refiner. Right into a corner. And then I pull it away. I don't like this sharp corner, so just slightly soften it. Again, sanding will take care of that. However, I won't sand. It's good. And I also, as you saw, did a little tiny shear scrape, so the fit should be slightly looser. And it is. And now I think that a little bit more elegant, at least follows the molding here. So now all that it's left is to turn a little teardrop, sort of finial type. Nothing crazy, simple finial. These are pin jaws, 35mm from Wickmark, and these should hold this block here. There we go. Like so. Get it in the center as best I can. So I follow I sight down through bedways. That makes it as square as I can. The blank itself, it's not square, so but it should be okay. Let me get you a little different view. Hopefully it's okay. There was a little blip, I think something reconnecting or something. Hopefully you hear me okay. Everything is good. Okay, awesome. So this is Wenge, as I mentioned, back with the skew. So peeling cut. And I'll slice the grain here a little bit. Like so, so it doesn't tear into the chuck. So that's my clean blank. Yeah, that's just visualizing what I want to do. Again, as I mentioned, just a simple finial top, sort of a teardrop shape. But I'm sort of looking, I think just the height of the skew, so around 19mm, 20mm should be tall enough. So that is somewhere around here. And I need where it is, I can use this 12mm skew. That doesn't like it. The grain just tears a little bit. I do have a parting tool, just don't want to go in a search for it. I have this thinner one. That's way too big. still too wide. That's finger width. And you can see how it wants to chip out. Wenge is quite splintery timber, and this is quite dry chunk. But you can see when you cut it properly, it really looks good. Now this is not something that I like, so I'll just slightly thin it down. Okay, a bit better. Yeah, I can live with that. We need to make a tenon real quick, and then we're done. So, measure the hole, tighten the calipers. I'll just extend this curvature all the way down so it fits nicely onto the box, and I need a small tenon. There we go. So let's see. Let me just position the camera slightly different, broader view. Something like this. Just fit this in. Maybe it's a tiny bit too big. Whoa. Come on. Nope, just a tiny bit too big. Okay, never mind. It's better to be slightly too big than too loose. So we're going to take this apart, and I still have to, I forgot about that, I need to clean up the bottom of the box or the base. So anyhow, I will have to rechuck this. Come on, maybe a tiny bit looser fit on the lid. So, and where did I put? I'll use a spindle gouge, just a tiny scrape. A bit more. Just a tad more. little back and forth, but there we go. I think that should be. Come on, you little bugger. Just a tiny bit more. As it usually happens, when you do a little bit more, it's too loose, but this is basically perfect fit for a little bit of a glue. No, still doesn't want to fit weirdly. I could use the same drill bit that I use, just go a few times in and out. However, I don't feel like getting the tailstock back on. Okay, that's perfect. As I mentioned, the fit has to be just a tad looser. So we'll just sand that. It's easier. So now everything is done apart from the base bottom, which we'll do now. So I'm gonna put this, so a little bit of a glue, and this is perfect. As you can see, put it here. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, I think. What you think? Let me know in the comments. So real quick, just to finish the demo, I'll do this bottom. So I need slightly bigger chuck. Good thing I have a few. Let's see this one. Yeah, this could be. Or maybe even step jaws might be okay. Yeah, I think step jaws would be perfect. Yep. It's like I measured. Step jaws are in almost perfect circle. Just a tiny bit of a expansion. And now again we have the original shape, the outside fully exposed, and now I can do whatever I need to do on the outside. Change it slightly, so I still have a little bit of thickness left, as you can hear. So I think just removing this and making it a little bit more slender should be the way to go. Should run nice and true, and it does, or true enough. Back with the ball gouge. Always make a light cut first, so it will always tell you if there's something wrong with the holding point, if there's any vibration or anything like that. As I'm watching this, maybe a bit more curve. Like so. And maybe I'll add, I can always remove it, but I'll add a small bead, like so. Little shear scrape action with the spindle gouge, 10 mil. As you can see, Works like a charm. Slightly pointier than I would like. Now it's perfect. And always, as it's good to do something with the base. Something like that. Again, you would sand this, but again, I won't. That's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. Where is my lid? Here it is. So overall, not too bad. I would do differently at the base. Sorry, the lid. The lid is a bit too tall for my liking. This should be more flatter, maybe following this curvature slightly and end up maybe overall height of the lid somewhere around here. But as you saw, I had a little bit too deep of a hole here, and I wanted to reuse this piece. Again, it was something from somewhere in some time. Yeah, a little tweak here on the lid, but I can always make a different lid. But as you can see, that spins nicely. There's no too much wiggle room, but always, if it does snug up due to movement, although I don't expect much these two pieces to move, if they do, I can always rechuck this and just take it a little bit off and make it a little bit looser fit. Again, if it does have a tiny gap here, it really doesn't matter. All these beads sort of conceal all that, but overall I think turned out quite good. So let's check a few comments now before we end. Just again, bear with me as I move you around. There we go. I think that's a good position. Maybe a bit higher, like so. Okay. Once again, thank you everyone for joining in, and I hope you enjoyed the couple of demos. And let me just try to answer a couple of questions. Let's see, where did I stop? Again, just to remind you, I will answer within a few days all of the comments. Hi Jay, thank you for stopping by. Tiny Woodworks is here. Thank you, man, for joining in. Awesome. Yeah, again, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you had fun. I did have fun. I never done this kind of a live interaction, so kind of strange. There is no like a pause button, you know. I did even put a sign like recording in progress, do not disturb on my door, because usually my mom or brother or, you know, whoever, neighbor can stop by. This way there's no interruption. So again, I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you would change, what you would like to see more, and if you like sort of a technique based demos, then I can do that as well. Again, I know it will be much better to have multiple camera setup, just to, you know, at the click of the finger, to have you know, different change of views. But again, it will be, if ever, it will be in the future. But again, not sure if I'm ever going to invest in something like that. Having one camera like this, it's okay. again, it'll cost effective, but also I think it does the job. It is a little bit in terms of setting it up for a few seconds, but I think it's not that bad. But again, I'm curious to see your feedback, to hear your feedback, what you think, and again, hopefully you enjoyed watching this. And yeah, see you in the next video, which hopefully will be in a few days, and you're going to able to see this one as well on my regular feed on YouTube. Just a quick announcement. Today, signature tools from the last pre-order in November just left the Crown factory in England. So I should have them hopefully maybe by end of this week or beginning of next week, and I'll do my best to prep them, sharpen them, and send them out as fast as I can. It will be a few days to get that all sorted out. What else did I want to mention? Yes, I will add another pre-order. A lot of you ask about that. When the tools arrive, when I have them in my shop from the last pre-order, again, I mentioned that from November. So when those tools arrive within the next few days, then I'll do another pre-order, so you can order one of my signature tools if you want. Also, it will be open for ordering tool rest again. I hope to pepper mills and tool rest to offer at the beginning of every month, because pepper mills and those salt shaker inserts, those are available right away. Martin from DNS have them in Germany in stock, so it only takes a few days to have them in my shop, so I can redistribute outside European Union. Tool rest usually takes, for let's say 20 tool rest, takes around 2 weeks to make, so those will be finished within a week, I hope. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And again, there will be a few new tools in the next pre-order, so again, hopefully within a few days, when the tools arrive, I'll announce everything, and you will be able to buy one of my signature tools. The short ball gouge will be one of the new additions, and also continental spindle gouges will also be another new additions. So the bigger one, 32 mil, for roughing down cylinders, really great tool for that. Also, I'll offer my sharpening if you want for those, and smaller versions as well. So if you like just using continental gouges, spindle gouges, they will be in offer as well. And of course, all of the rest of my signature line. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, thank you for watching, for enduring this 2-hour session. Again, I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you do as well, and see you in one of the next videos.